Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is JoJo if you are new stopping by here, and this channel shares with you all our family's journey through budgeting and with the goal of attaining financial freedom. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is my week 2 check-in for paycheck number 1 for the month of February. I was absent with posting videos last week. If you have been following along with me, you may have noticed that. You probably also hear my laundry is going off that it's done. But I did not post anything last week. I still did my budget, but I didn't post because, again, if you've been following, you're aware that we have several different pets. 2 of those are elderly dogs, and we've been dealing with health issues with both of them. One of them, our oldest dog, Lily, she was 15. She unfortunately had really just began to kind of go on this downhill slide with her health, and it was quite rapid, and my husband and I did not want to put her through any suffering, so we had made the decision last Thursday after noticing her health was really declining to make an appointment with the vet to have her put down. And I was just not in a headspace last week to come on here to film with you guys. Sorry, it's still very painful. She was a very important part of our family and very loved. But it was her time, and she really, brought a lot of joy to our family, and we were very grateful to have her in our lives. Anywho, that was last week. I will go ahead and post my Paycheck 2 budget forecast. I've already filled all that out, but I'll make that a separate video just so that you guys can see where all the money is expected to go for the second week of February. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all, kind of let you know what had been going on. We thankfully did have some money in our sinking funds to help us pay for everything and make at least the financial side of everything a lot easier. But I'm going to go ahead and just hop right into this, and we'll start here with our week 2. I'll get you guys zoomed in and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are with paycheck number 1, and my husband and I get paid bi-weekly, so each paycheck covers 2 weeks worth of expenses. So here doing week 2, my week 2 check-in is when I close out that paycheck. The dates we're looking at will be from February 18th until the 24th. And again, this is for week 2. These are our variable expenses. I'm going to just start here at the top with groceries. And what I do using this transaction log that I fill out twice a week is I keep a running tally of what's remaining from that category. And it just makes it a lot easier for me with these weekly check-ins to total everything up. But if you see over here in the remaining, this negative means we were over budget by $40.27. So I know that I budget $400 to last us 2 weeks, since we were over by $40.27. In 2 weeks, we spent $440.27. And that'll go into my paycheck budget sheet where I summarize the 2 weeks worth of variable expenses. But to figure out how much we spent in week 2, what I'll do is subtract what we spent in week 1 on groceries. And it was $132.25 is what we spent for week 2. Let's see, so groceries, this week we spent $132.25. We were over by the $40.27. Next, for eating out, we had just ordered, last week was kind of just no routines, cooking, meal planning, everything kind of just went out the window. But we had gotten some takeout on Thursday, the day that we had taken Lily in. and that was quite a large bill. That's where most of that came from, and then I think we rented a movie as well. But we ended up being over budget by $3.42 for our eating out and entertainment. Household and pets, we had spent $34.44, and we actually were under budget in this category because everything for Lily did come from a sinking fund that I have for our pets. And then gas prices, as everyone's been reflected in saying in the budgeting videos, they are just going up, up, up. And we ended up being over budget by $7.62 here. I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if I need to increase our budget, or if I'm just going to kind of let it ride and be okay with being over by $5 to $10 each paycheck. My husband had spent $21.65. He was under budget by 42 cents, but anything that's left over gets rolled into a sinking fund to build for any more expensive purchases my husband and I want to make for ourselves, like clothes or beauty products for me, golfing or something for him. And then I had spent $13.86, and that left me with $52 and let's see, 93 cents. But again, that's going to be rolled into my sinking fund, so I'm just writing a zero next to there. My oldest, he had received $10 from his sort of allowance or cash that we give him every week if he kind of maintains his chores and his grades. And then my daughter, she plays Roblox, and I think some sort of parental control thing had been released on there. I don't know, I need to talk to my husband about it, but she has spent a lot of money. So we talked to her about how much she gets. Each kid gets like $10 on average every week as money that we set aside for treats at the gas station, reward money for grades or chores or anything like that, going out with friends. And so I've been talking to her about how much she has, how much money she has, that she needs to budget that, and what kind of she needs to do to receive that money, such as grades or chores. We had talked about how she had already spent into her next week's money, so she's not going to be able to have those rewards because she's already spent that money and is kind of in the hole that way. So she's 7, she's going to be 8 in April. So just introducing her to that, she's starting to understand money, the value of money, that sort of thing. My youngest, he did not spend anything this week. He had $3.80. Oh, let me see. He had actually $16. Let me get my white out here. Make sure that I have been writing these down correctly. Yes, okay. So I have kind of a cheat sheet, and I had looked at the wrong column, but just for this one. Okay, so he was under budget by $16.14, yes. Okay, so when you add up all, and we didn't have any unbudgeted, we've been doing really good there. I think sinking funds has been our saving grace. So when you add all these together, what we spent in week 2 was $370.25. What we have remaining, and that's zeroing these out, so I'm not counting the fact that my husband and I were under budget here. We're zeroing that out. When you zero that out, total we end up over budget by $38.42. Okay, so that is going to take care of our variable expenses. Those are all of the yellow boxes on my transaction log. Now we'll move over to the paycheck budget sheet and finish reconciling our transactions. If you are new here, these are sheets that I have created for myself. Any thing that you see me use in the videos are ones that I kind of put together to suit my budgeting needs, because if we were new to budgeting, and this is a system that has worked well for us. I do have these sheets available on my Etsy shop that's linked in the description box below if you feel like this would be a system that would be helpful for you. Again, I did do my week 1 check-in with bills and income last week just on my own, but that's where these numbers have come in here. And there was some extra income here that came from my Etsy shop, so thank you to those of you who have been checking it out, and I really hope that those sheets are helpful for you. But any extra money that we have, I automatically allocate it towards debt payment. I don't want to feel like that's extra money for me to spend. That extra money immediately has a job to go towards debt. So that's where that was written here. And starting here at the top for income, those are my green boxes, and there was a little bit of interest that I got, 4 cents from the checking account, and then Ibotta, I had $26.05. So that totals $26.09 when you add those two together for this week. Just going to write that here, the $26.09. And then account for that down here. Let's see, today's date, it's the 25th is when I'm filming this. And that's HELOC Extra, and that is $26.09. Okay, now what we'll do is move over here to our bills, or the pink boxes. And yeah, I do have one bill on this transaction log. And that was for daycare. That is very consistent at $174 every 2 weeks. Okay, so we'll go ahead and check that box off, and that takes care of this transaction log. Next, we have insurance, and that was for $147.49. That was under budget. There we go, we'll check that one off. Oh, and I'll check these off too. Okay, next was Alexa, and she came in on budget at $14.99. And our HELOC, I wasn't sure if there would be anything due, but there was not. We are doing a velocity banking strategy. I just paid off my last student loan earlier this month using our HELOC for interest savings. I'll link that video in the information card if you want to see more about that. But as far as the velocity banking strategy, I have a whole series if you want to see about that. When you add all of these together, we are over budget, and that was our electricity and gas bill. Our sewer bill, it looks like, is also going up, but that also takes into account the extra debt payment. We spent $1,218.63 on bills for this paycheck. Moving over to our variable expenses, totaling out those 2 weeks worth of variable expenses. Groceries was that $440.27. Eating out, we were also over budget. We had spent $103.42. Household and pets, we were under budget at $112.06. Gas, we were over budget at $157.62. And then my husband and I are going to be an even $80. And my oldest, he is an even $20. My daughter was over. She has spent a total of $36.19. My youngest had only spent $3.86. When you add all of these together, that totals $1,033.42. Next, what we'll do is come over to our sinking funds. Those are the blue boxes. Let's see. So this is for week 2, and I'm going to be closing out my sinking funds to, let's see, on tomorrow's video is where you guys will see me how I use these tables to help me close out my sinking funds. But I have a lot of different sinking funds, and you guys, they have been a game changer for us to kind of keep us afloat on this debt freedom journey. We're definitely not gazelle intense, so we are still planning vacations, extracurricular activities, eating out, celebrating holidays, that sort of thing. Let's see, so the first one that we have was the pets, and that totaled with the vet bill, and then we had also purchased some other things to kind of commemorate her, all of that sort of stuff, like a statue, and I do still need to get something to hold her ashes once we get those back, all that sort of stuff. But pets total, we spent $506.64. Extracurricular, my kids are now, my 2 youngest are going to be in t-ball and softball, and that totaled $163 for those fees. And then waste management, I'm running out of room on my sinking funds. I'm going to need to drop my debt table down and expand my sinking funds. But our waste management, that is paid quarterly, and that came out at, I have to squeeze this in, $83.07. Actually, I need to write parentheses around all these guys because I do also need to add in, I think I'll put it down here. I'll just make a little note to myself, sinking funds continued. And that is going to be, the sinking fund for my husband is called Dad Bod. And we are going to add a whopping, what was it? It was like 42 cents. And then for me, my category is my face. We are going to add $52.93. Okay, that takes care of the blue boxes on the transaction log. Next is the debt. We do have some extra money we're throwing at debt. So when you see this $42,000, that comes from the student loan. So our HELOC really equals our student loan payoff. I'm not being charged interest on the $42,000. It's more like $26,000 that the bank is seeing to charge me interest on. But we had started in February with about $102,000 of debt and have been able to whittle our way down to a little over $42,000, which this is just, every time I see it, it's just so surprising to me. And just thinking of where we were when I first filmed our debt confession and how nervous I was with the amount of debt that we had to where we are now, it just feels so much more manageable. So just starting, no matter how scared you are, just starting the journey and just whittling down that debt, and you will get there. Okay, so total extra we're throwing at debt this week was $35.05. We're going to take that away from the $42,000, and that brings it down to $41,964.95. Okay, just doing some fun backwards math to figure out our total, $87.46. We are now at $42,252.41. Super exciting. We've paid off 2 cell phones this month, so next month you'll see our bill drop, and we're kind of merging what we had been paying on those 2 cell phones into our new HELOC, our family's set minimum payment for the HELOC, which is a combination of what the student loan number 2 minimum payment was and the cell phone payment was, and that $610 is what the new HELOC payment will be. But that is it, you guys. That is going to wrap up this video. Thank you all. Oh, you know what? Not quite. I need to figure out how much I'm actually rolling over into paycheck number 2. Okay, so what we'll do, oh gosh, I'm kind of all over the place. Sorry, I'm a little rusty from not filming. But let's see. So we have, I need to total out our income, 2863.45 plus 1073.33 plus 927, 896, 2609. Okay, make sure that's all good. Yes, we are. And total what we brought in was $4,898.83. Now what we'll do to figure out our rollover, because that's what we do with the money that's left over from paycheck 1, is if it's not extra just automatically gets thrown at debt. But whatever's left over from our usual income sources, for paycheck 1 gets rolled over into paycheck 2, and then paycheck 2, which shows our cash flow with this equation, all of that money gets thrown at debt. Okay, so we're going to subtract our fixed expenses, 1218.63, and then our variable 2. Okay, so what we will be rolling over, which, okay, yeah, I guess that kind of ended up balancing out. We are still going to be rolling over more because of our income came in more. $2,646.78, which is awesome. All right, you guys, now that is going to wrap up the video. Thank you all so much for stopping by and spending time with me today and kind of dealing with my fluttered brain. I'm still kind of recovering from the stresses of last week. But yeah, thank you all so much. This has been so helpful to me, just being accountable and interacting with you guys, not even just about budget things, but just to say, hey, how are you doing? I really appreciate it, and I just want to let you all know thank you, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow when I close out my sinking funds.